We're gonna have my Cybertruck fully autonomously drive me back home from work using FSD 1417 using Mad Max mode. So let's go ahead and start full self-driving. Now, as you can tell, we're inside the parking garage here at work. So I am excited to see what this thing does. This is the first time I've ever had this thing try out driving by itself inside of a parking garage. And as we can see here, it's driving around cautiously, but it's moving. So right now, the exit is actually going to be on the left here. I really don't know if it is recognizing the exit signs that we're seeing, but it does turn on the left blinker. So it must be recognizing something, right? Because there's no way the map knows exactly which way is the exit once you're inside of the garage. So this is really cool. It's making the turn here. And the next thing we're going to observe is as soon as it goes up this ramp, it's going to enter one of those gates that opens and closes. And I am quite interested to see if the truck has the awareness to stop until the gate opens up and then proceeds. I've never done this before, so let's find out. All right, we're approaching the gate now, and the truck does stop by itself. It does get pretty close. There's the gate opening, and it goes through. This was incredible, y'all. Like, I did not think it was going to be this smooth. So that was impressive. And now we're here, and we're going to start exiting the area here. There's usually quite a bit of traffic here on the left. That's probably why we're stopped here. But what's cool is the animation is right there on the bottom of a couple guys on their scooters. The Cybertruck doesn't generate a scooter vision, but it still is pretty cool to see that. What I did notice here is that the truck didn't really turn the way I would. It kind of went off the curb a little bit, so that I hope improves over time. But overall, it was able to get out of there, no issues. All right, folks, now we are going to fast forward through many parts of this video just whenever we encounter traffic. And in those particular sections, I will be taking some questions and answering them around the Cybertruck, around FSD, or just about electric vehicle lifestyle. So be sure to check out the chapters outlined in this video so that you don't miss out on any of that Q&A. But I also made a video that you can check out above here showing it drive me from my home to work. And the first thing we did there was see how the truck backed out of my garage fully by itself. So be sure to check out the video if you enjoyed this one. What do you think is the biggest unsolved challenge for autonomous technology right now? To me, it will come down to just anything that prevents efficient computer vision. So foggy windows, dirty windows, too much sun glaring, torrential downpour, hail, fog. I think until we overcome that, we're absolutely not going to be able to say something is fully autonomous at any point. Now we're going to start merging onto the highway. There's really nothing challenging here. It's just going to be quite a bit of traffic, but we'll still be able to see how the truck makes sure to alternate cars merging onto the highway. It's very conscious. It turns on the signal as we see here, and then just proceeds merging onto the highway. So all in all, very smooth here. Obviously, I will want it to get into the HOV lane, so that's going to be the first thing I want to call out to see just how well and how quickly it can get all the way there. What's your take on the trolley problem in autonomous driving ethics? I actually don't know what the trolley problem is, folks, so if you're watching this video, comment in the section below, let me know what that is, and in the next video, I'll give my take to that question. All right, so right off the bat, this is one of those situations where in Mad Max mode, I do expect it to be more assertive in changing lanes. It's taking quite a bit of its time here. I don't know why it didn't change lanes a lot faster, but at the end of the day, it did, so that's okay. We're starting to pick up traffic, so I would really like this to start moving all the way to the left. Good news is it did do that, and at this point, what I have noticed is, again, the truck does tend to follow the laws of the road quite strictly, with some laws. Apparently the speed limit's not one of them in certain areas, but it will not cross over these double solid white lines into the HOV lane, which is a shame because if traffic was starting to really back up here, I'd be stuck in this lane. And frankly, if I was driving myself, I would just simply go right into the HOV lane right now. But here, it's fully crossed open and it's still not turning left. So I went ahead and turned on the left lane blinker for it to do it. But good thing is that it did notice there was a car in my blind spot on the left, so it refused to turn. once again, we've kind of had that intelligence in FSD for some time, but I still wanted to call it out because that's important, right? You are still semi in control of the truck, even when FSD is enabled. You turn on any turn signal, the truck won't turn if it's not safe to do so. But here it looks like the truck is now deciding to turn to the right and go into the middle lane. I don't think this is the right call. It really should be trying to get into the HOV lane. It realized its mistake and it went back to the left lane. Pretty human reaction though, so I can't really fault it for that. But again, we're gonna start seeing more traffic here. So I really hope pretty soon in the next opportunity it gets, it can just go on this left onto the HOV lane. Okay, right here, I wanted to turn left. It's still not doing it. So I do have the setting that in FSD that says that I do want it to turn left. So I think this is an intervention. It really should be doing this. The fact that it's not is disappointing, especially in Mad Max mode in the latest FSD software. But once again, we're here complaining about first world problems, right? The truck isn't going into the HOV lane all by itself. Wah! Just simply turn the blinker on and let it turn by itself afterwards, which is what we ended up doing here. Not a problem. How does it feel to not be in control for such a long stretch of highway? It's incredible. When you're having to constantly hold on to something, remaining centered on the lane, being aware of all of your surroundings at high speed, it's exhausting. And it also increases stress the moment you add in bumper-to-bumper traffic. So in a lot of ways, by me just simply being able to reduce that cognitive load, still remain attentive, it just simply makes the entire drive a lot more enjoyable and less stressful. It decides to turn to the right lane. I don't know why it's making that decision. We can clearly tell the traffic is moving faster on the far left lane. And even now, the truck is not immediately correcting that position and going back to that left lane. It just finally turned on the left blinker on, but it's really way too cautious. I think if it's not driving at a certain speed of maybe 50 or 55, it is incredibly shy about changing lanes when it notices any cars behind it, especially when we're on the highway, right? When those cars behind us are probably going to be moving at a fast speed. And I don't know if the software is just not able to detect what that speed is in a fast enough and reliable manner. But here we just saw another Tesla cut us off here, and we're still not turning on the left lane. We've had our blinker on for quite a bit. So I would say this is a fail. I would normally at this point interject and say, hey, I'd be able to make this turn left way sooner and start confusing other drivers. It can actually become a hazard when it just simply sits there with the blinker on and isn't actively turning. So disappointing there, but again, traffic's flowing. At some point it will turn left. We just finally saw it decide to turn left when there were practically no cars behind it, and there's opportunity to improve. So hopefully when 14.2 comes out for the Cybertruck, we'll see a lot of that improved. How is the seat comfort on a long drive like this? Really good question. When I had my 2014 Tesla Model S, the answer was incredibly uncomfortable. I did not like driving that thing any more than I'd say 30 miles. My back would start hurting. It'd just be bad. This Cybertruck with this premium seats, oh my God, it is next level. Incredibly comfortable. So they did a very good job with the comfort level with these seats. How many times have you been asked about the truck at a charging station or rest stop? More times than I can count. So many people are really interested in learning about the Cybertruck. Every single person that has had the decency to come up to me has been nothing more than reacting of, this car is incredibly amazing. It looks great. It's so cool. Tell me more about it. I want to learn more. And that includes across all age groups. I've had, whenever I Lyft drive people, I've had kids with their parents. The kids are absolutely blown away, ecstatic. I've made basically their entire month just simply by them being able to experience riding in the Cybertruck, all the way to someone in their 60s and 70s saying that never in their life would they think that they'd be able to see something so unique like this. And of course, the moment people experience that it can drive itself without any intervention is also an absolute game changer. So But yeah, I would say more often than not, anytime I drive out, I'm at least going to get one person that interacts with me and asks me, either compliments me or asks what my experience and my thoughts are about the Cybertruck. Are the steer-by-wiring and rear wheel steering a game changer for a truck this size? Well, mine is all-wheel drive, but yes, steer-by-wire is mind-blowing. Now, I'll be honest, the first probably 3, 4, or 5 drives you're going to have with it is going to be incredibly uncomfortable, to the point where you might actually really dislike it. But the moment you start getting used to it, you will feel that you've become one with the truck. Any tiny little reaction, the truck reacts seamlessly, and it does it smoothly. Whether it's sharp turns, whether you're slow speeds, fast speeds, parking lot driving, highway driving, it's incredibly efficient, incredibly enjoyable. I know a lot of people were concerned about the yoke steering wheel and that it might be inefficient when doing tight turns or driving in parking lots. It's the opposite. Steer-by-wire has changed all of that, turned it on its head, and there's no other experience like driving the Cybertruck that has steer-by-wire. I hope all the other Teslas get it at some point, just because it does make the user experience absolutely much better. Will we still need driver's licenses in 20 years? This is a really thought-provoking question, because I think first we have to ask ourselves, why were driver's licenses necessary? My gut is telling me that it was to ensure a few things. One was that you passed some kind of assessment that demonstrated that you understood the rules of the road, and also that you knew how to operate, in this case, heavy machinery, the car itself. The other part of that is obviously from a liability, traceability perspective. The moment you drive a vehicle, people need to know who that vehicle is registered with, what your driving record is. And so I think that entire aspect will change, no doubt. I think with full automation, we won't really need to demonstrate that we can operate heavy machinery when that is going to be done. But I think that part of governance, all of that will still need some form of identification linked to something that you own that authorities can then backtrack. So I do think we'll still see driver's licenses. I think they're just going to be obtained in a different manner in the future. Okay, we're now off the highway. And so this is a 45-mile zone. And as we're now on the far left lane, we hit 69 miles per hour, folks. That is way too fast. We could easily get pulled over and be given a speed ticket. So I would like the Cybertruck to be more intentional when it's accelerating more than 10 miles above the speed limit, because in my opinion, that should only happen when it's trying to overtake someone. At that point, we were already in the far left lane. We didn't need to overtake anyone, and it really should have stopped accelerating once it got to 55, 56 miles an hour, but it hit all the way to 69 this time. So no interjection, but I will dock off a point just because it shouldn't be going that fast on a residential road. Okay, folks, I am getting close to arriving to my place. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a like, follow me, and subscribe to my YouTube channels as I test out new versions of FSD as they come out. And if you have any particular scenario around the Georgia area, let me know. I'm more than happy to have the Cybertruck drive me through that route fully autonomously and be able to evaluate how effective this technology is starting to become. And also, if you're interested, be sure to check out my content around path towards homeownership in an era where affordability is lacking, as well as once you accomplish homeownership, how you can save big bucks by becoming handy around a home and learning about maintenance, repairs, and renovation projects.